Hello, the game has started. It's me to go first. I've got a lot of vowels. Should I be changing? Well, I think the best I can do without changing is Orloy, keeping BI for 12 points. And that's providing a ton of useful floaters. So I am going to change. And I don't think there's anything worth keeping. Maybe A and L. So I have Aurelia. Fantastic. Will that be playable? Sometimes when you change, opponent changes as well. Aurelia takes an N and an S, I think. And it doesn't have an anagram, and there won't be many 8s because there are already 5 vowels. Oh, wow, brutal. Aurelia blocked, no N. Wow, worst possible start. It's the C, which totally hampers parallel plays unless you've got an H. Now, do I really have nothing through these floaters? Well, the A doesn't look promising. Nor does the P, although that looks close. Nothing with the L. What about the T? Well, that doesn't look like a bad tile. But I'm not seeing a bingo. No, and let me just check Aurelia as a parallel play. It fails. Okay, so what to do here? No point in moping. Aplytic may take an H in front. So do I have a double-double through this L? I think I do. Ruelia for 28. And I draw the Z, which is often a useful tile. And it goes above the A of Aplytic. But I don't have a vowel to go above the P. So I think Baz is the best I can do there. I don't have a bingo with this rack. BM and Z together, not very bingo-y. Now, do I have anything through the U? Gosh, close to Bombay's. Now, my Z can also go next to the A of Ruelia. So I could play Mazed in column 4. That would score quite well. Now, what about column 4 at the top? Oh, wow. Fantastic start for opponent. Another bingo. So, where are my scoring options? Well, Mazed remains available. Z can go next to the E of recouple. But I don't think I can play off B or M if I play there. So I think I could play Z for 50. Pretty good. This isn't a terrible rack lead. B and M do have some synergy. Anywhere significantly better. What about a play in column 3? Well, I'm looking for a long play, which gets the Z doubled, and I'm not seeing one. Am I going with this? Yes, I am. Well, that doesn't look too bad. Fairly close to a bingo and balanced, and I can score with the B and the M if I don't have a bingo. Board quite open. Great, opponent has stopped bingoing and leads by about 100. And the board is wide open. So, what do I have here? I have the IUM ending. Not seeing a 7. Do I have anything through the A? I have the anti-prefix with BUM. Doesn't look promising. I have the un beginning. Okay, what about the U? No. Okay, well, I'm not seeing a bingo with this rack. How to sort it out? I guess I'd like to get rid of BU and M. Where can I do that? Well, I can do that in column 4 for a miserly score. Probably a slightly larger score here. That's 24. 20 in column 4. Anti. Well, I guess there are floating consonants on the board which go well with anti. M, P and D. Always slightly risky when you keep an equal number of vowels and consonants. The risk is that you have 4 or 5 vowels in a non-bingo-y rack. I hope I'm not missing a bingo here, but it hasn't come to mind. I'm not seeing a better spot or a better play than bum in this spot. I am going with this. So, do I have anything through an O? I would have novation. Wow, there is an O of recouple. Fantastic. And that's not an obvious spot to block. Well, there are plenty of spots all over the board. So I'm hopeful that will remain available. What if it's taken? Do I have an alternative bingo? What about the A's that are on the... do I have innovate? I do. Row N. Fantastic. Great. I should be coming back into this game. I only trailed by a bingo, but opponent's on turn. So I think one of those bingos will definitely play. Do I have any further options? So I was considering the A's on the board. Not seeing anything there. And venation is the anagram of innovate. Well, that doesn't work. Recouple only takes D and S. Opponents played. Only 24 points. Fantastic. So, well, there's no real choice here. Both bingos open up triple word columns and innovate scores significantly more. Fantastic. I draw the first blank and I only trail by 30 points. So, do I have a bingo? It'll be fairly low probability, but this is a balanced rack and I have the blank. What would it look like? It could end A-B-L-E or A-B-L-Y. I've got the I component part of a word, but I don't think I bags is good. Great, just 37 points for opponent, so a bingo would definitely bring me back into this game. Foe takes an N. I don't have one. So, yeah, I'm close to Manga Bay, but that's 2 A's rather than 2 E's. So what about I? I bag isn't good, but is there something else with bag, the blank, and one of the tiles on the board? Not seeing anything. So floating A doesn't look useful. Floating M. So it could end men, something like bogeyman. Doesn't quite work. Money bag. Floating A, already considered. Floating N. So could end bean. Or NY. No. U, not seeing anything. O, doesn't look useful. P. No. L, not available as a bingo floater. So, what to do here. I'm going to have a quick squiz in case there's a 7 or an 8 comes to mind. This could end ED. 12 minutes on my clock. So I do have bag on my rack. I was thinking of Galabia there, but I don't have that. JG, only a 6. So that's the ABLE ending with GEY. Not saying anything. Looks a useful floater. That's eye bags, which I don't think is good. Now I would have the bite ending with GEA. Not seeing anything. Okay, so I'm not seeing a bingo there. How to sort this rack out? Can I play B and Y somewhere? And possibly the G as well. What do I have in column 12? So I do want to play the Y. Not seeing anything there. No O for oh no. Nothing to hook ZE. I've got Gaby in column 3, but it doesn't score very much. So is there anywhere for jibe? Well, there is. This isn't going to score hugely, but I think it is the best way of sorting the rack out, and it still leaves alone lanes. Plenty of lanes on this board. Is there a better spot for this? And am I forsaking a lot of points in column 12? So I could play beg. 27 points, 5 more points, retaining the Y. And stopping opponent playing there. And leaving alone this E. Biger is good. That's 29 points. I think I will go with this. Yeah. Okay, and the Y was also balancing the vowels that I had, and meant that if I don't have a bingo, I do have some scoring potential. Way is good and Biger is good. So I would have YAE. But that is quite a hot spot I've created. Now, do I have a bingo here? Vowel heavy, so floating consonants are likely to be better candidates. M and N. Not seeing anything, but I think after this next move I should be in pretty good shape. I've only got to get rid of the Y. Great, opponent's played the Q. He's left alone this monster spot over here. So this is what I'm looking at, 37 points and a good rack leave, and I'm creating a lane, and I'm providing very little for opponents. So I could play Daya for a bigger score, but a worse rack leave. This rack leave is great, and I am going with yay. Wow, an abundance of riches. I will have a choice of bingos here. It's a bit of a shame getting the second blank. One would always prefer to have them on separate moves, but obviously 2 blanks better than none or one of them on opponent's rack. So, where am I looking at? What about row A? Solid scoring from opponent. Row A ending in M. Well, how's that going to end? IUM? Don't know. So I've got re-inked in column 4, so I do have bingos here. So what about row O beginning with D? There must be something down here. Only 8 minutes on my clock, so I can't hang around for too long. Re-inked doesn't even get doubled. I would like to do a lot better than that. Row O, I think, is the best lane. So, well, let me just go back. What would go well with the K? A C. Could have king in it, but D-kinged, not good. So I'm considering this rack plus a D. Nothing with the C. That would be the ING ending. Nothing with the D. Not seen anything so far. D-linked. I think D-linked is good. Let's find out. Yes, it is. Fantastic. 89 points. That is huge. And this is not a bad pick. I have crossed. Is there anywhere for that? Don't think there is. SAR codes through the A, but that doesn't work. Haplytic still available, with 2 H's to come. What a pick, though. And I lead by 20. And these are all nice tiles which are not on opponent's rack. I haven't seen a bingo yet with this rack. What about the U? What about the U? Well, the U's been blocked. Where are the lanes? Does SAR codes have an anagram? Does crossed have an anagram? Well, does it? What about scorsed? What about scorsed? Am I making that up? I think I may be, but it's free. It's a void challenge. It's good, amazing, and this is an astonishing pickup as well. Very, very close to a bingo. Wow, scorsed is good, superb. I hope it didn't go anywhere else and better. But that's really taken out a lot of the bingoiness of the board. Just 12 tiles in the bag. So I was thrilled to see this rack. Do I have anything? There's the floating M and A. So I have form. I would have 4 C's through an E. No E. What about the A? And look at this, I lead by 60 points. Still the J to come. So opponent could play jury in row H. That would be pretty brutal. I guess if opponent doesn't take out this triple word square, I will. ESS is good. So I could play 4s at the top right for over 30 points. Always good to have that sort of score available. Ruelia takes an S, so, oh, last go, I had crossed and Ruelia's. Wow. And that would have been a much better play than scorsed. It would have scored more and wouldn't have opened this triple. Fortunately, opponent hasn't been able to massively take advantage. So 8 tiles left. Wow, that was a bit of a board vision oversight, not spotting row L. Now I've got the last 2 S's, but an S in 5th place is very precise. ORF is good. EF is good. Yeah, 43 points, that's pretty good. I don't need to rush this. Quite happy to have 2 S's, 1 to hook ES and 1 for row L. And in any event, this is a pretty bingo-y 5-letter set. I'm going with this. Well, not seeing a 7 here. What about the M? No, how about the A? No. Okay, so maybe I'm not going to bingo again, but I do have a lead, only 50 points. ES also takes a T, so opponent could play in column 15. He could play something like Haunt. He could have a very unbalanced rack. There are only 3 vowels to go out of 13 tiles. So maybe if I play off just GO, I could have another bash at a bingo. Am I sure there isn't a 7 here? Or an 8? No, I don't think deuces is good. That's the obvious candidate play. So, still 1 H to come for haplytic. Having mentioned it so many times, I hope it's good. Maybe there's another aplit word, like aplite, which takes the H. The N of Manawa, no longer available. I have ogres in column 15, but there are only 6 tiles in the bag, so my move is very much going to depend on how many tiles opponent leaves in the bag. And certainly, although I've got a good lead, victory is not assured. Only 2 scoring tiles available, H and Y. 21 for opponent, that's not very much. So I lead by 35. Only 1 tile in the bag. And I'm not going to fish for a bingo. I think opponent's not going to bingo himself with this rack, so I think maybe the thing to do is to make this play, and then whatever I draw, I'm likely to have an unblockable out, and 24 points will take me to 470. Yeah, I'll lead by about 60 points, which surely is going to be enough. Yeah, I am going with this. So opponent has H and Y, but I just don't think there are any huge spots. If he does have a bingo through the A, then or the M, I will rue my play, but I don't think he does. Great, and haplytic is good. There you go. So I lead by 30. I haven't found an out yet. 4 minutes on my clock, but surely I do have outs. So I have Olms in row A, Sol in column 1. OK is good, but nothing down there. Nothing goes after UH. Caddies is good. 4 minutes on my clock. I'm not going to spend forever. In a tournament, I would use all of the time to get the best play, but this game is won. So let me just put this down. That's 11. Can I beat 11? Nothing through PO. Yes, there is something through PO. I have spool for 14, and I am going with this. And the final score, 439 for my opponent, 488 for me, a winning margin of 49 points, so a huge, huge win. Let's see what I missed. Wow, what a game. What a game. Back-to-back bingos for opponent to start the game. And then the comeback trail. Now, it was me to go first. Bayali for 20 keeping OU. Yeah, I think there's an argument for that. But the rule of thumb is 2 for each tile that you place on the board for your opening move, which is 10 points. So that would take the value of this play down to 10, and then OU is going to be worth between -5 and -10, so there probably isn't much between this and changing. Now, great start for opponent with Athletic. No bingo for me, but I do have a double-double. And look at this, fantastic bingo by opponent. And I trail by 120. I have Z for 50. And opponent with the Q, nowhere for it, but a great spot of Manawa, which really scored well and kept him well in front. Gosh, this looked so close to a bingo in my mind. I thought there may be one. J10 main, parallel to recouple for 40 points. What do? I played bum for 24, keeping a decent rack leave. But Tane is not 16 points better than main. BTU, U is worth about -5. B doesn't help it. T does help it. So this is probably about maybe -7 or 8. Anti, I would say, is positive, but it's not immense. I don't think it's going to be much more than 5, so say +5. So there could be about a 10 or 12 point difference. There's a 16 point difference in score. So actually those moves aren't too far apart. Now, opponent's rack. Plays Wig, could have played Whack for 33. Wow. Okay, not always easy to see because these tiles don't go together in any other word, but it was there. Yep, through the A of Athletic. Now, this is my rack, and this is where I start the comeback with Innovate. Opponent still got Whack, but plays Foe. Oh my word, there was a bite word. A8 with the M, megabytes, for 104 points. That would have been absolutely fantastic. Well done if you spotted that. I did actually consider the bite suffix, but I didn't spot it. Oh well. What do? I play Beg for 29. Yeah, and this is one of those instances where if you miss the top play, the second best play is miles behind. So I play Beg and I trail by 40. Opponent's rack plays Caddy, and now I'm a bingo behind. And this is what I thought about Dayar for 45, but I wanted to maximise the rack leave. So I sacrifice 8 points to keep DEI blank rather than EE blank, and I'm happy with that. Let me just consider the valuations here. So EE blank, blank worth 25 to 30. E definitely helps it to maybe between 30 and 35. Second E is not terrible. So that may be worth about 30, 33, 34. Blank DEI, everything is good here, 25 to 30. I would say that's above 40, between 40 and 45. So I would say that is at least 10 points better than blank EE, and there's only an 8-point score difference. Opponent's rack plays Vex. And now, here we go. I play Delinked for 89, but I10, wow, parallel to recouple, this Nidal, KNAID for Z, EL. That would have been amazing. And also provided fewer floaters for opponents, so not just a 3-point score difference, but the moves are further apart. Anyway, delighted to spot one of the high-scoring plays. Opponent's rack. Wow, close to a bingo. Doesn't have one. Plays Hoy. And here we go. This is the crossed play at L1. Scorched also playing there. And then, in my delight at spotting a playable bingo, I sacrificed 14 points, which could have been crucial if opponent had played jury. Now, opponent's rack plays join. And that's great because to get 43 points and have this rack lead was just fantastic. So I now lead by 50. Opponent's got 3 T's and a U and is not in good shape. Plays Chuart. And now, no bingo for me. I could have extended join to joiners. But I went with Gauze for 24. And the thinking behind that was, with my rack leave, I would probably have multiple outs with whatever I drew. Opponent doesn't have a bingo, which he needed to win, plays Yerth, and finally spool for 14 is best. So, what a game. Absolutely epic stuff. I went behind early doors with 2 back-to-back bingos, and so often that's enough for opponent to hang on and win, but I had a good run of tiles in the middle and came right back into the game despite missing Megabyte. So absolutely fantastic fun. Many thanks to my opponent for a great battle. I hope you enjoyed watching that game, and I will see you next time.